Howdy everyone, Warsarcy here, and today we'll be looking at Castle Costume on PS4, an exclusive Halloween game released today on Halloween. Castle Costume is a third-person platformer that is open world. In it, you basically set off to save Halloween. Now, of course, while it's open world, it has multiple levels, which are in themselves open world. So the game starts off primarily repeating the same three goals: rescuing the Witch of the West, reaching a target in the sky, and going through a platforming world to reach the end. You can trick or treat at some houses in order to unlock the soul shield. A treat will remove one soul from the shield, but a trick will take you to a black and white version of the area where you'll have to find 3 green skeleton collectibles to return to the regular world and also remove a soul. Not difficult, just takes an extra 10 or so seconds, but freeing spirit souls removes the shield blocking you from rescuing the Witch of the West so you can fight the enemies that spawn around her. Besides that, you have various collectibles like coins and such, but I never figured out if they even had a purpose besides being a distraction, so I tended to ignore them. After the first few levels, things will change up a bit, but it's more of the same until the boss fight. There really isn't much to this besides platforming, easy fights, platforming, trick-or-treating, platforming, and that's about it. So let's get on with my thoughts about this game, which I warn you, they're not the best. This game gave me decent expectations. Not high, but decent, and it completely failed to meet them. I started off somewhat disliking the game before starting to think I might actually be liking it, only for those thoughts to be completely whooshed away. The graphics are okay, they're definitely more on the lower side considering this is a PS4 exclusive. One complaint I have that even my fiance noticed is that compared to everything else, the music is very quiet. You kind of have to turn up the volume a bit to hear it, and the NPCs will do a good job blasting your ear in the process. Some of the things that hurt you make no sense as to why they hurt you. One thing, for example, is those spinning blowtorch things. Yeah, it makes sense that the front will hurt you, but if you even touch the back of it, you'll take damage. Also relating to damage, the combat is just too easy. In the earlier stages, you'll have to save the Witch of the West from pretty much just 2 enemies that you could just press the attack button on once. Which, I mean, it's repetitive, but at least simple, I guess, unlike a certain other part of the game. The other part I'm talking about is the platforming sections. Only 3 levels in, and the platforming section started to prove to be a pain in the ass for me, and considering that it's most of the game between the combat and trick-or-treating, it gets difficult to want to continue playing when you get to these sections. I mean, the platforms that start falling when you land on them start going down before you even actually land on them. It gets even worse at the elusive Iris boss fight. Not only is this boss incredibly annoying with the bad quality loud meowing sounds always playing, but this fight is absolutely ridiculous. You have to start from the back and platform your way to it 5 times while dodging its projectiles that not only follow your every movement but go through objects. You have to balance hiding behind glass and moving forward because if you die, you have to start all over. If you get held up at the beginning when it starts firing, especially later on, you're pretty much screwed as you either wait for it to hit a glass or take the hit. If you wait, then by the time it hits, it has already fired another. Speaking of annoying, that hudah it does when firing never stops. Even if you pause the game, you'll continue to hear it. But it gets even better. When you unpause, every hudah it did will have a projectile stacked on top of each other waiting for you, resulting in one massive bolt. So if you pause between its shots, you might as well give up because you just guaranteed yourself to be hit. And I forgot to mention, you have lives, another inconvenience in this fight, as if you lose them all, you have to reload the whole level. Keep in mind, this is all in the first part of the game, World 1. There are 3 worlds, and the first one alone is an absolute irritant. But just so you can know truly how frustrating an experience this is, just in case you doubt me, I'm gonna keep going because there's more. After about an hour between my fiance and I trying, which by the way, I actually had a headache afterwards, we made it past the boss into the second world. First level in the second world, I got stuck and couldn't move. It happened many times throughout the game, sometimes in places where it could be a little understandable. In other places, I'd get stuck right there on the ground on a platform. Getting back to bosses, you know what's ironic? The next boss is polar opposite of the first one. Rather than being too hard, he's too easy. You just jump jump around in circles and he gets hurt on his own. Afterwards, the platforming gets easy with your newfound dash and gliding abilities up until level 14, where things get irritating again and you're painfully reminded once more that you only have 5 lives until you have to restart the whole level. This game just doesn't come together well. I mean, the trick-or-treaters who feed you cringy puns, and even the Witch of the West, as well as other characters, look like they were pasted from an anime game and the developer forgot to shrink them down to size. Hell, Tiny Tom doesn't even abide to the laws of gravity, as you can pretty much make him float. The sounds are lower quality and sometimes just too loud, so unless you want to sacrifice hearing music, prepare your ears. The pacing goes from repetitive and boring to frustrating and difficult, and back again. Overall, this has been an annoying experience, and it's definitely a pass from me, but if you still want to give it a try, it's available on the PSN store for $10. Who knows, maybe you'll have a better time with it. There was a patch yesterday, so maybe they'll do a future one to fix some of the issues I had. But anyways, I'd like to thank Loveridge Designs for sending me a review key. This is WarStarC in the Game Clips channel, and if you're planning on trick-or-treating, stay safe out there. I'm out.